Hey guys, Scott and Nate from PlayYourCourt.com. Today we're going to show you the 4 returns you absolutely need to break serve.
All right guys, so we're talking about the 4 returns you need to break serve. Today's instruction is for Play Your Court members 50 and up. If you're not familiar with the Play Your Court rating system, get in the platform, check it out. So many cool things.
If you're not familiar with the Play Your Court rating system, just
keep
go
telling
away.
you.
Just go away.
All right, guys, let's get into it. So the 4 returns that we need, all right, there are multiple different ways to get the ball back into play. And one of the big issues that players have is they stick to one. We see juniors do this all the time, that they're always trying to get through the ball, whether it be, you know, an abbreviated swing, a full swing.
I bet 90% of the people watching this video only do the first one we're going to show them.
I will say there's also good, because of the range here and ability, there's a lot of people that are simply blocking the return back. That's true. Right? And so although those are 2, we got a couple others. So let's jump into the very first tip here. And the very first one that we're talking about is the one that most of you use, is the abbreviated swing. We'll give you some insights about how this is done, and Scotty here will demonstrate what this looks like.
Let's jump into it now. All right, guys, so what you're going to see here is what 99% of coaches are going to immediately address on your return of serve, and that is just shortening your backswing. So there's 4 key components to this that I want to point out. You're first going to split step. You're going to focus on the unit turn, but it's going to be an abbreviated backswing. So you're going to notice as I return serve here, I'm not pulling that racket anywhere near as far back as I would on a normal ground stroke. It's an abbreviated backswing. Then you're going to see contact out in front and a very similar follow through to as if I was taking a full stroke. All right, guys, so as you can see there, and you've probably been coached this if you've had any sort of instruction on your return of serve, all I've done is just abbreviated my backswing. Everything else stays the same. I'm still split stepping. I'm still taking my unit turn. My follow through is virtually identical. The big change is just instead of a big backswing, you're going to see abbreviated and a drive through from there. So that is the return number 1. Return number 2.
All right, so return number 2 is blocking or chipping. So there where the pace is dialed back a little bit, or maybe Scott is just a really good returner and picking up that ball, at some point there's going to be a speed that's breaking you down, or maybe it's a changeup, right? Maybe you're looking for one thing and you get another. Maybe I'm looking wide and he goes body. From here, we want to have the Swiss Army knife of the block or the chip. And we see Federer use this all the time. Before he started coming over the backhand predominantly, almost the vast majority of the time, he was chipping that backhand return, either really deep, resetting the point, because really at the end of the day, that's what we're doing off the return, right? Like if we can get first strike, if we can get it back to 50-50.
Neutral or above is always the goal, right?
All right, but he was able to also turn into some offense by chipping short, right, and making the opponent uncomfortable. So here we have 2 different things that we're gonna look at. The first is gonna be a block, all right? And so this is gonna be off a bigger, a little bit more power. This isn't about getting excessive spin. This is essentially blocking and pushing it back deep. The second one that we're going to see is going to be a chip that may be a little bit more offensive. I may follow it in, or I may just bring Scott up to the net. So what you'll see here is from the split step, I'm going to shift my weight to the outside leg in which I'm receiving the serve. So if I'm getting a forehand, the weight will go to my right. And then just like a volley, I'm gonna meet the ball out in front, but I'm gonna angle the racket so that I'm pushing the ball up and out, working for depth. Key here is making sure that you have your arm still bent with that elbow in front of the hip, and you're still getting some weight forward. All right, guys, so there you see a pretty defensive mechanism as far as returning the serve, but a whole lot more efficient, right? If somebody's dropping a lot of pace at you, it's really hard to time a swing, even abbreviate it. So sometimes blocking it is your best method of returning the serve.
Your best method?
Yeah, I got a little Daffy Duck there.
Okay, carry on.
Yeah, so
it's your best method.
Thank you, Scott. Moving forward. So guys, and if you're looking to be a little bit more offensive, you don't have to be defensive, right? If you're looking to be a little bit more offensive with it, the chip and charge, or taking this ball, abbreviating it, and putting a little bit more knife on it, whether deep or short, is also
That's a good delineation too, because I think most people hear chip and they think defense. You can use this offensively. You're not only using this if you're in trouble and on defense, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Very cool. All right, well, moving on to return number 3.
Yep.
So return number 3, we're going to show you one version, then we're going to show you a more advanced version of this. So if you're I think probably around, like, what do you think, a player court 60 and below. If you're getting slow,
you're a weekend warrior, you're not getting a lot of reps.
Right. If you're getting sort of like that pop in serve that's just sort of floating up, and it almost looks more like an approach shot to us at the higher level, I'm going to show you what that looks like. And then the higher level version of this, we're talking about how to attack the return. The higher level version of this would be you're not ever seeing that ball, but we still want you to attack the return. Nate's going to quickly show you that as well. Let's take a look. All right, guys, so what you can see here, as I'm getting weaker serves, a lot of loft, almost looks like an approach shot. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna split step, I'm gonna quickly acknowledge that the ball is short, get up to it, and most importantly, I'm not gonna run through this return. I'm gonna plant my front foot the same way I would on an approach shot. Once I've planted my front foot, you'll see I make contact and move through the ball. I want you thinking fast feet, slow hands. It's not important how hard you hit the ball here. It's just important that you plant that front foot and transfer your weight through the shot.
All right, guys, so the next footwork pattern is much higher level, and what we're focusing on here is defending pace, still keeping that abbreviated unit turn swing. And what we're doing here is from the split step, finding the outside foot, and then swinging, but pivoting and landing on the inside leg. So here you'll see me loading up from the split step on the right foot, moving out to the direction of the ball, and then as I get through the swing, I'm actually landing on the left foot. That right foot will swing around and give me the ability to recover. Because I'm taking the ball so much more out front and cutting off the angle, this has the potential to be extremely offensive as well.
All right, guys, so in the first example I showed you there, for a little bit lower level of play where you're getting weaker returns, where you've got to move into the court, the key is a split step and quick acknowledgement of that short ball. I see a lot of players either react too late to this ball, or even if they're reacting on time, they get anxious and they run through it. So the key here is split step, move up to that ball, make sure you get turned and really plant that front foot as a pivot point for you to hit and rotate around on. The more advanced version?
The more advanced version, it's a funky little tempo there, but the main thing is getting forward through that swing. We will link another video below that we talk about that in detail, but we wanted to include it here because we think it's important. Just because somebody's thrown the heat or the can opener or whatever it is, there's still methods to get forward and be offensive, right? But you have to be looking for that serve. All right, so next up, we have the last one. Here we're talking about, this is more about position, all right? We're gonna talk about getting back in the court in order to give yourself time to play up, something we see Rafa do quite a bit. We'll take a look at that now. All right, guys, so in this particular return, what you're gonna see is a change in positioning on the court. You'll notice how far back I'm playing off the baseline, at least 6 feet. And what I'm looking for is the ball to come down where it's not over my shoulder, so I can get under it, lift it, and give it big depth, just like we see Rafa do on clay. The second variation, what we're looking at, is something unique, a little bit more advanced, and this is a drop step. From the split step, I'm pivoting and getting to my back foot in order to do the same thing, get behind the ball and lift, transitioning to my front foot. All right, guys, so the last one there, you saw a big change in positioning, allowing the ball to descend a little bit, especially if somebody's a big kicker. Get off that line, give it some time, and focus on depth.
For sure. Guys, quick recap here. 4 returns you've got to master if you want to have a great return to serve and want to break a lot. The first one, again, is just an abbreviated backswing. Everything stays pretty much the same. You're just looking to take a shorter backswing.
Number 2, the block or the chip, all right, especially when somebody's throwing heat. Block it back deep, get back to middle, or use the chip to be offensive.
All right, number 3, and we've got 2 variations of this. The intermediate level first, we're looking to acknowledge weaker serves, move up quickly, plant that front foot, make contact, and transition forward to the net.
The advanced level on that serve, we saw a footwork pattern that's using the outside leg to transition to the inside leg, much more advanced. We've linked the video, reference that for a little bit more in depth on the technique necessary
and number 4.
And number 4, what we just covered, positioning. Get further behind the baseline, allow the ball to descend, especially on a kick serve that's getting above your shoulder, and play up for depth.
That's all I've got for you today, guys. Hope you love this video. If you do, please press the like button below, press subscribe so you can see all of our videos. And also, if you're not in the Play Your Court community, click the link or the button below and check it out. We'll pair you up with evenly matched players, give you custom video coaching based on the things that are breaking down in your game, give you everything you need to improve your tennis game. Talk to you guys soon.
See you guys.